Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Vrikayu Gameplay channel, and in this one we are going to be taking a look at Xin Zhao. I'm pronouncing it as best I can at this point, because he still defines the meta. He is still borderline OP or OP, depending on your, I was going to say age bracket, but maybe that's true. All people should have better success with him than, Lee Sin, because mechanics. No, in high elo, he still is one of the best, if not the best jungler in the game. You will see him perform solidly at Worlds if people continue to pick him up and they don't adjust the, let me just zoom out, the balance curve of the champion. But on the other side, we have Ocarine with Jarvan the 4th. As we all know, freshly buffed, and I released a video on him not too long ago either. So, how do they match up? Because, they're not really analogs of each other in the way that, like, a Camille jungle, historically, Vi jungle, Jarvan jungle, similar niches and points, and just little differences in their ults in terms of how they lock down, little differences in their stun, whether it's an EQ, an E, or a Q. That's actually quite funny. But in terms of comparing these two junglers, both can do level 2 ganks, both can do 3 camp ganks, both can 4-5 camp. Jarvan shouldn't typically 5 camp as much. Top laner is late to showing. We have a Malzahar top versus a Gragi Fatman. Well, yeah, I mean. Oh, actually, no. This is the Viking skin. Yeah, never mind. He's glorious, and both leash. So we know exactly that they're going down. Here you'll notice this ward. This is a huge ward by the Akshan. Placed it before or around 2 minutes, between 1:21 and 2 minutes. Now I released a warding video on my main channel. I will link that below. Here we go. This is the information it gives you. If Jarvan went from red to Raptors into red blue side, we would have seen it immediately. If he goes red Krugs Raptors, we see it immediately. If your mid lane has prio, they can ward this and make a play over it, right? It gives you all the information you need. And in that warding video on the main channel, I talk about all the pros and cons, about how you, the jungler, the mid laner, the support, all the wards you need to track the enemy jungle early and basically gain control over the game. It's in that video. So what does our Xin do in this situation? Does the Raptors, because that's what we do. Bottom lanes are turbo engaging here. We have the set support, forces of flash, heal, and death. We have a set Zilean. Well, if they're good at the champions and it makes sense in terms of theory crafting, go for it. In Challenger, that might make sense, but please don't use that as an excuse to try and reinvent the wheel in Bronze, because we don't need square wheels anymore. So, he does a 5 camp. We know that the Jarvan's going to be this side. He knows now that this is a 2v1. You can look at this from Ogarin's point of view. He knows this is happening, right? No prior mid, no prior bot. And this is where full clear metas can become, well, the E-misses, can be kind of difficult for junglers. Okay, this is a bit of an orgy in the river. I don't think we really need this. Okay. As I was saying, we don't really need this, but Xin Zhao is a strong champion, and he enjoys the skirmish ability of this fight. LeBlanc flashes out. The Nautilus is still alive. The Samir has come back to lane with 2 longswords. And the thing about these fights, right, is item reset, gold reset advantages. You're watching him clean it up, and it's because he really wasn't focusing. He was just left to poke people in inappropriate ways with his spear. 3-0-1 from there. But, you go for this fight, and Samira shows up with 2 longswords, right? That's every auto bonus 20 AD on every spell, bonus 20 AD. He shows up with boots, which helped him get there quicker. There we go, get it out. And the set and the Zilean had not yet reset for those examples. Is this some kind of weird fasting center lane? Better swap it. So those fights can go both ways. You don't want to coin flip them too much, right? If you coin flip them too much, you lose games from it, right? So Jarvan out of base goes straight to the top side and says, you know what, Zasakrab, thank you very much. I don't know what that accent was, but we'll embrace it as something foreign and mysterious. From there, the Xin Zhao says, you know what, that's gone, set roamed, he goes back, he's going to go bottom lane. If the Jarvan did a full 6 camp, which we know he did at this point, and he took a crab, which we know he did at this point, he's going to be 100% here. So, Malzahar will have to push the wave, respect the possibility that he Krugs and ganks, wards it, good job, you genius. It's not like this has been happening for 10 years, Jarvan, doing this. Yeah. Stumpy has no mana, unfortunately. Stumpy. Brilliant. And Ogarin's just going to keep farming, which is, of course, his MO, right? I mean, even on Lee Sin's and Shyvana's, he's enjoying the Golden Dragon. He tweeted that the other day. Enjoying a good win streak on Shyvana at the moment. He's known for the Shyvana, the Jarvan, and the Kha'Zix. So, as well as other champions, but he is good at farming efficiently and well. The Xin is doing the exact same thing here. So if you can match, this like harkens back to the Season 10, early Season 11 meta. If you've got a full sequencing champion, and they're just going to rinse clear on and on and on, obviously here the indication is, right, these on the dragon, maybe he's trying to do something, maybe he's trying to gank bottom lane. You can just mirror their clears. You can just mirror their clears. So if you know Jarvan's going to go top to bottom, and you can do it faster, well, that's an advantage for us. So we do it, and then we can be primed to either gank the lane if it's pushing, or counter gank it, and interrupt the goals and dreams of Gurren, which is what he did. Also the Nautilus semi-inting. But this is part of jungling. And we have had a lot of videos. Oh, give us a juicy experience. Thank you, Zilean. I actually played with my friend Timo some Ornn jungle with Zilean support. Not on any high rank game or whatever. But that was a hilarious combo. Double bomb with a Brittle proc ult E plus Ornn's W again. Double Brittle proc. It's really funny. Really fun. So Zilean here gives us a free bonus experience. And we counter jungle, knowing that the Jarvan, if we're tracking via CS counting, had not taken that. Don't overgreed. You could look to do this. But as I was mentioning in my Discord, the issue with that is your bottom lane might want to reset for gold and not have the resources to do this. And if they waste time doing this, get chunked, even if they don't fight you, you go back to base, they hard shove this wave, and now you get denied a fair amount of experience. It's not really worth it for your bottom lane. So it's okay to give it up, especially if the enemy jungler's not going to be there, and he's going to be probably sequencing onto the top side. We do have a Crab here, set once again out of base roaming, knowing he has a bit of tempo over his ADC, his Zilean. Jarvan once again gets the Crab. So again, these are one of the patient games, and I didn't finish my thought because I keep getting distracted and running on different, I spiral. Okay, Goon Squad mid lane, as I say that. Goon Squad mid lane. Great run by the bottom lane. I like that a lot. You're having a rough time. Things aren't going well. You know that they're resetting. You know that if you have any vision here, you see the set. Zilean's by himself bottom lane. No TP. Make the Goon Squad play and enjoy yourself. So, from our jungler's POV, as I was saying, we talk about snowballing and closing games. We talk about, I'm going to pause it here, when do we farm? How do we play with losing lanes? How do we play in one lane losers? And I've covered all of these things, but when all lanes win, or all lanes kind of go semi-neutral, how can we be the carry difference? So here's a very important thing. If Jarvan is continually going down like this, and you're just matching him and cutting him off, we back off, we try to do the same thing. Unfortunately, because you make a play, he gets the Crab first. It is what it is. We can do this, and this is highly important. Something I mentioned for the first time in terms of my weird terminology I have. I need to make an index. Cutting the map. So instead of matching the Jarvan going down again, right? You use your tempo advantage or the mind advantage you have. That was nice to get into the pit undetected. And you cut the map. So instead of going on this play and matching him again, you cut through and you go for an objective where you go for a gank that allows you something to cut in here or to here, right? So it gives you a huge advantage if you're both matching each other, and the first one to make an aggressive move can very easily get ahead. As you see, Samira is a well-designed, good champion, enjoyable to play against, and Shieldbow and Goredrinker are totally not broken-ass, annoying items that I wish to never see again. We get the Herald. We know that Jarvan kept on sequencing, so here, because the bottom lane won the 2v2, so a nice coin flip in the direction of Gurren, that means he can now do this invade. You see the pings going through, because we see him run across. There we go. He actually snaps a red. You can invade, take buffs, and then fall back with your bottom lane to dragons and whatnot, which it looks like they're doing. But again, I just mentioned this, right? So this is a very aggressive play. The Jarvan could have gone straight for the dragon with his bottom lane, given up the red side to the Xin, and then everyone goes back to base, or he falls back to his jungle. It's good times, right? In this situation, because they stole this, there's no longer time to do the dragon, and the bottom lane has to reset, which means they have to give up the dragon control, and blue side jungle Spear well, whatever his name is, gets the benefit. So that's two objectives. He cut the map, and he's been winning all the fights. Goredrinker is completed. He has not done the Ionian Boot Rush, which is obviously a Jarvan thing. People love the Jarvan Black Cleaver Ionian Boot combo now, because having low CD on an armor shredding Q and gap closer and ultimate and shield and basically everything about him is highly valuable. So it looked like he was thinking about shadowing mid, considering that the Akshan is having sad times. Just in case the LeBlanc decides to distort in and maybe go for an all-in here. He Bollywoods away. There we go. He shadowed it. Nothing could happen, so he goes straight up to the Gromp. He's going to sequence down again. I think here we could have looked for something interesting by doing Wolves, Gromp, perhaps... Look at the Gragas. You know the Jarvan's going to be topside at this point. There we go. I love it when I track well. It's actually the one thing I do well. My hands and my reaction time will decline as I get closer to my mid-30s next year. But the brain can still work, you know? Good tracking. We could have looked to cut that by just doing this. And if you do that, right, you go Wolves Gromp, you sit on this bush, you know the Jarvan's going to perhaps try something aggro. The Stumpy, Stumpy is a bit low. You counter gank it, you kill him, you shove it, you herald it. Huge. Huge. I think that was a really great play. But instead, as you can see here, while I'm looking at that, I apologize profusely for allowing you to miss the action. I feel like an ad coming on during the middle of a TV show or sporting event. We sequence down, we see Jarvan top lane, we use the fact that a bottom lane is winning, we herald over the wall, Set goes in for tanky McTanks, the Samira does Samira things, and Set does Set things, good design once more, and Xin Zhao has entered the 2021 design contest with his ultimate. Very fun and balanced and enjoyable to face. And this is why he's so strong. This is why he defines meta, because he can literally match and do whatever anyone jungler wants to do. He is a malleable adapter, much like the Kha'Zix, right? Kha'Zix is the same thing, except minus the utility and the cheese factor and the real just, I'm going to dive in. His team fighting is significantly better than people think. So this is a great cut to get the Herald, a great reaction to recognize that he could punish the Jarvan's greed for the red buff to take the dragon. I do think he missed a possible counter gank and dive topside, but the lane we are snowballing is not the space AIDS Malzahar, right? We don't need to spread more disease than COVID is already allowing. We simply say, you know what, you take top lane, Mr. J4, I'm going to shoot bottom lane and snowball that lane even more. Even though the Set, actually, my eyes look, that looked like an 020. Maybe that mid-30s is coming on sooner than I expected. 026, so they're performing very well. Apart from the 2v2 death. That upset me. That should not happen. Bollywood, again, Raptors here, you just take the Raptors, it's so good. I'm actually going to use this in a video clip for the main channel tomorrow. Out of base, take the Raptors into action, yes? It's why Raptors are probably the most contested, not contested, but the most secured camp on the map in general. Obviously, it doesn't give you the most value, but they're an easy, tasty snack, you know? You don't always want to sit around cooking a full pizza in the oven, but, you know, maybe we have some toast, Nutella on toast, you know? It is not as nutritious, it's not going to give you as many calories, so you have to eat more to match it, although you should not eat those things only. This is not nutritional advice, it's just a metaphor. But because it's easy to make, you can understand why people would eat more Nutella on toast in a week than pizza. Although ordering a pizza is pretty easy too, so let's assume you're making the pizza. I don't really like homemade pizza. Good Italian pizza from the local Italian place is always gonna be the best. At least in Europe. Don't know what you guys eat in NA. Anyway, I got sidetracked. Nice use of the mid lane here. Good gank. Set's roaming again. Alistar's now roaming. Zilean's still bot lane. So this is, again, a little bit of aggression from the Set. Going to be punished. The Shin has fallen back to his blue side jungle to secure those camps. We're not interested in Stumpy and Herpes. Space Herpes. We're going to go straight back into the river. And we'll finally get a contested crab. Level 9 to level 9. Agurin always keeps up farm and experience. We're baiting them into this. Nice ult by the Set to avoid the knock-up and the created death. Whoa, that champion is so strong. The Gore Drinker is just, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. I hate it mostly. Oh, great. Nice revive mechanic. I hate Gore Drinker. The heals up way too often, man. I honestly think it's up way too often. I think Shield Bow and Wit's End are making ADCs tankier than they should be. You know, the risk of ADCs is you die because you position badly. It's a skilled role. You know, ADC should be for skilled players, just like Rengar should be for skilled players. But we need to make everything simpler. Anyway, that's just my little rant on that. Good position. I mean, I play Zyra, right? So if I don't buy Zhonya's, I'm doomed. Unfortunately, I have to buy it all the time this season. That's a separate issue again. But if I misposition, I die. I know I don't get a shield bow. There's no mage shield bow. There's no mage Sterex Gauge. There's no mage Gore Drinker, you know? It's very one-sided in that sense. Zilean and Set. Okay, Zilean is ironically wasting time. He has TP. We're waiting for some gold. Very nice. Luden's completed. Dragon is up, but again, Jarvan should have free reign of this. If again, please, if your laners are not ready to take objectives, please don't force it. You know, way too often people force the objectives for no particular reason. Actually, the sound was very low, I really couldn't hear anything. But if you have a lead, contest afterwards. If you have numbers, contest. Even if you have to give it up, you can still fight afterwards, yes? Like, this is good. Just don't go by yourself and die. That happens way too often. From this, now you have bottom lane advantage. Jarvan seen on the board here, very briefly. Gives us everything we need to know. I mean, the blue is available, but he's not looking for it. That's interesting. This is free. So that's just a bit of a missed opportunity. We should have yoinked that also. Jarvan is 100% going to sequence topside and go for the Akshan. Tanks the tower shot. Should be very... Oh, the Q misses. Dunk him. Duncan I was going to say Dunkin' Donuts, and then I went Dunkin' Jonuts. Which, everything about that was wrong. But the Jarvan... Anyway. I don't know if that's better or worse than the Moth soliloquy, but... I'm doing this in one take at this point, so I'm going to keep rolling with it. It's kind of funny. Falls back to Raptors, you see? You know? I want to go do something, Raptors. Oh, Jarvan's bottom side, there's no Herald, I take Raptors. And then I can dive top lane. Maybe you have time for the Krugs, but otherwise I take the Raptors, and then I just run across mid lane, see Jarvan top lane, going back to base, I just yoink the Raptors and go out. Then you go back to base, and the Jarvan says, oh, you took mine, I take yours. And then he goes for Krugs and a dive. So Raptors are like the gateway to a lot of counter jungling and map mobility. It's just accessible. And you can keep snacking on them as much as you like. It's easy to take, it's fast, you can regen with the Talisman passive. Well, whatever the hell jungle item we have. So it's really nice in terms of accessible camps to secure. Obviously, Gromps and Krugs are more substantial, but they take time. Geographically, don't make a lot of sense with all the map movements. And being around mid lane is better than being here, you know? Because mid lane, you can always shoot either direction. If you're on the edge camps, you're kind of limited to the edge lanes as well. But another Herald, I love the second Herald. I've seen way too many streamers even in Challenger get annoyed that people go for fights over Herald. I think it was even like a Tarzan stream recently. He went for Herald and everyone's like, why'd you go for the Herald? You know, maybe the mechanics of the fight were poorly played, maybe they weren't paying attention to back timings, gold resets and whatnot, but the concept of just giving up a second Herald for no reason. We get plates bottom lane and now we just smash through too. Brilliant. Now all outers are gone plus the inner. This provides a lot of pressure if you have a split push component. 8-0-2, calm, measured carry game. He had a neutral mid lane. He had basically AFK Island top lane. Could be a Netflix show. And we have bottom lane, which was just a lot of fighting and a lot of randomness, but because he camped that lane, excuse me, and he counter ganked that lane, it really wasn't able to get snowballed, which is huge, you know? Junglers can be just an anti-snowball for certain lanes, like a Samira Nautilus. You really want to be the anti-snowball component. And he just played it perfectly for what he had, and that's very important for jungling. We red smite as we go in. She dashes back. She gets she dead. She dead. Nice QSS there, Samira. Very cute. You've got double bomb Zilean, set E, set R, knock up from the shin. Tech W. Vision granted. We can drag these two camps together. There we go. Efficiency. Again, it's easy to snack the Raptors even for most people while doing something else. They're just chasing the Nautilus, which I think at this point is fine because there's nothing else to really be done. At this point, Stumpy's... I can't say that without laughing. Stumpy's bottom lane. How long does it take to kill this unholy champion? Why is he still alive? Why is he still alive? I mean, having a hitbox as wide as the entire map is not enough. Right, Dragon is spawning. I think we definitely want to reset for this. So I would Wolves and reset if you have a substantial amount of gold and a core item. Jarvan shows top lane very briefly with a LeBlanc, which means we know exactly where he is. Which means if you have an advantage to get there quicker, scan, control, and you don't have any core itemization to purchase, which in this case I don't really think we do, we can stay out. An extended sequence is fine. He did have time to go back to base, but if he just doesn't have slots, because you want to keep those control wards, very valuable too. You know, people might think, well, oh, I need 400 gold, for example, for Wit's End. But I don't have it. So do I go back to base and sell the control wards and get it or not? No. Just hold the control wards, keep your components. They could lose a Baron flip here. But if they do that, you just run over, right? Yeah, no. That's a very good play from the red team that you could play, but I don't think they really wanted to do that. He goes back to base now. See, like, we didn't have the gold anyway. We needed a lot more gold. Akshan revives Malzahar. He rotates up. We have the axe in our pocket. Set hits a nice big boom ult. Jarvan dunks the back line. Xin Zhao is left to be able to do whatever he wants. He's just been left alone. And that's the thing. You can dive, you can peel, you can disrupt, you can just absorb. I mean, they can't attack you outside your ult anyway. This is such a nonchalant carry game. He's just casually walking around and doing jungle stuff and reading and reacting to the map perfectly, and it's great. That's why you don't always need to be mega alpha. Kill the ward. Again, tasty snack. You just play the map, ladies and gentlemen. Play the map. There's no need to force things. Right, now we can go back to base. Slap the wits end, very good. So yeah, even if you sit with 1500 in pocket before an objective, if you're not going to complete anything, just stay out, use a vision control, especially when they're up here. If you do have enough time to get a component and go to the dragon without compromising your map state, and if the enemy junglers in the area already reset, then of course go back, maximize your purchase and your item power. But in that case with Jarvan topside, there was no contest. And they spent a lot of resources diving. Zilean has no TP now, I believe. No, he does not, of course, and neither does the Malzahar. So we have to factor that into our decision making if we go for this fight. Stumpy doesn't either. So that's important. I mean, in high elo, you have to track your TPs very accurately, but I can advise you in any elo, please, just track the TPs. You know? Put it in chat, write it down. It's so huge. Just look at the map the whole time. You can see the animation here. Someone's on the Krugs. Or was, maybe. Now we're just floating with danger at this point. Our whole team is here. Stumpy has no TP, which means he has to either continue split pushing or reset and run down. If he's busy in the midst of a reset, then we know straight away that we will have time to burst this. You don't want to coin flip it though. I mean, he is down a level, but again, Smite doesn't change anymore. There we go. Here's Viking Gragas. Look at this. Look at this. Peel the LeBlanc. Turns to immediately peel the LeBlanc. Now he's just disrupting with a set. He's deciding, basically, do I need to dive the backline and kill the carry, or do I need to help peel? Once he sees that they should be fine and he can assassinate the Samira, he does. They deal with the Jarvan. He deals with their backline. He turns back and forth beautifully. And I love that he just turned onto the LeBlanc first. Everyone, focus the person CC. Kill them. All of a sudden now, yes, you used your spells, but they're 5v4. And now just change your focus accordingly. It's very well played. Great team fight. And most of you, don't lie to me, most of you probably just dive the backline straight away. You don't even turn on the LeBlanc. You think, ah, she's dead. And all of a sudden, she lives 1 HP because the Malzahar ult and disease was not enough to kill her. She distorts out, goes back to base, and if she has TP, TP's back into the fight. So focus targets appropriately. And again, another snack. See, Raptors. It's small amounts. It's small amounts over time. And obviously the experience, I mean, it says level 14, but the experience, you know, is limited. It doesn't escalate beyond level 9 and whatnot by any, like, sort of drastic increment. So you're basically just denying everything you can to the enemy. And that's huge, especially when you have a lead. You want to close games out? You're denying as much as possible. Because it doesn't make sense. Oh, I have a 5-kilometer lead that I gained in this race, and then I'm gonna keep that lead. I'm gonna cruise and keep it. Well, what if they were just biding time? What if they had a care? What if they're just enjoying being 5 kilometers behind because they know that eventually they'll have the stamina and speed to catch up to you? So push the lead to 10 to 15. Don't rest. Easy. Jarvan's now, I think Ogurins is fed up. It's been a rough game. He had rough lanes. The farming style does have its downsides, but he's exemplary. One of the best junglers we have in EU West, so. But you're not going to win every game. Sometimes your laners will lose, and sometimes the enemy just picks a better meta champion. 13-0-4. Perfection. And that's why this champion is so good and defines the meta. Because you can do everything I just said. You can do what Jarvan did. You can do what he did. It's so unassuming. A little boring if you ask me, but Look at this. Separates Nautilus from his team. Like ripping a mermaid out of water. So cruel. And now you can dive the backline. And your chain CC, your stun, your healing, your ult, it just provides so much utility overall. And of course, Gore Drinker. Gore Drinker, Wit's End, and Steric's Gauge. Unholy Trinity. But there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this one. One full take. Congratulations to all of us for sitting through it and making weird memes and stuttering, but we live to fight another day. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Please do like, share, and comment if you did. Don't forget, match histories are in the description below. They take you straight to the Mobalytics page, which, if you do download from that, sponsors a channel, supports the channel directly, but if you just want the information, that's there. My Zoda GG Volibear Guide Life Companion Coaching Extraordinaire thing, that's also linked below. That's basically if you want me talking behind your shoulder, coaching you and telling you what to do, camp sequencing, which lanes to gank, objective timers, giving you prompts about Volibear technique. That's also below. That's really one of the biggest things I've ever made for League of Legends. So for those of you who have purchased that and tried it out, thank you very much. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.